Imagine you're alone at home at night and you hear a faint tap on the window pane. It's not the wind, it's not an animal, it's something or someone outside watching you, waiting for the perfect moment to come in. What if it's not just your imagination? What if it's real, like the stories you're about to hear? Get ready for real accounts that will send chills down your spine. Invisible intruders, shadows in the woods, and presences that invade your home when you least expect it. Stories that will make you question every noise in the dark and doubt even the safety of your own room. This is Corvina. Come with me into the nightmares. Stay until the end. You won't want to miss what happens when fear becomes reality. Hit the like button, share your own creepy story in the comments, and subscribe to the channel for more tales that will keep you up at night. Let's dive in. When I was 12, my mum started leaving me home alone. We lived in a quiet little town with peaceful streets, big yards, and friendly neighbors. It was the kind of place where you didn't need to look over your shoulder at night. My parents, who had me young, were active and liked to go out on weekends. That night, a Saturday, they left me with money to order pizza and the whole house to myself. I was obsessed with video games, especially one called Night Fire on my PlayStation 2. After beating the game for the third time, I decided to order a pizza from a nearby place called Bella's, one of our favorites, though it closed years later. I ordered a medium pizza, since at 12, I could easily devour 3 slices on my own. My mum told me to wrap the leftovers in foil and put them in the fridge. While waiting for the delivery, I swapped the game disc for another one, Agent Shadows. When the doorbell rang, I ran downstairs with the 20 real bill my parents left, remembering to tip 4 reais, as my mom asked. The delivery guy was a man in his 30s, with a long, scruffy beard, glasses, and a black cap. As he handed me the pizza and counted the change, he looked over my shoulder into the house and asked, "You alone here?" The question felt odd, even scary. My parents always taught me to be cautious with strangers, so I said, "My parents are coming back soon." It wasn't the best answer, but it's what came out. I closed the door, ate my pizza in the kitchen, and stored the rest before going back to my game. Hours later, around 11 p.m., the doorbell rang again. Thinking it was my parents, I ran to the door yelling, "Mom, Dad!" But an unfamiliar voice answered, "Hey, I need help. Can I use your phone?" I asked who it was, but he just repeated that he needed the phone. Scared, I didn't want to peek out the window. I went upstairs, where the stairs faced the front door, when the man banged hard on the door, saying, "Wait, please, I need help." He'd seen me through the door's glass. I ran to my parents' room, where the only landline phone upstairs was, and called my mom's cell. She answered, probably a few glasses of wine in, but snapped to attention when I told her about the man. She asked if I'd spoken to him or if anyone knew I was alone. I remembered the pizza delivery guy and told her he asked if I was alone. While we talked, the doorbell rang twice more. My mom told me to lock the bedroom door, stay quiet, and not turn on any lights. She said they were calling the police. It was a summer night and the windows were slightly open. From my parents' room, I heard the side gate to the backyard creak open slowly. I told my mum, who told me to stay silent. Then I heard footsteps inside the house downstairs. Panicking, I whispered this to her, and she shouted something to my dad, likely talking to the police on another phone. She told me to hide under the bed. For 12-year-old me, that was the most terrifying moment of my life. The flimsy bedroom door lock was my only protection. I heard footsteps coming up the stairs, passing my sister's room until they reached my parents' room. Someone tried the door, which was locked, and jiggled it a few times. Then there was a soft knock, but no words. The footsteps moved away, going back downstairs and fading into the house. My mom said the police were arriving. Soon, I heard heavy footsteps and a voice shouting my name, identifying themselves as police. I opened the door and found 2 officers upstairs and 2 more downstairs. They didn't need to break the front door because the back door was wide open and the living room sliding window was open too. The entry point. I told the police everything, including my suspicion about the delivery guy. My parents arrived soon after, and we went to Bella's the next night. I didn't see the delivery guy, but I described him to the manager, who said it was an employee named João who was making deliveries. After we explained what happened, the manager defended the employee and asked us to leave. My parents made a scene, said they'd never come back, and we waited in the parking lot for nearly an hour, but João didn't show. My parents think the manager tipped him off. We tried contacting lawyers, but without solid evidence, no one took the case. We never went back to that pizzeria, and it took a long time for my parents to leave me home alone again. When I was a teenager, we moved from the city to an isolated rural area. My parents, newly retired, built their dream house in the middle of a dense forest with no neighbors nearby. The house was huge, 2 stories, a gym, a bar, a pool room, and a home theater in the basement. It seemed perfect, but something there never felt right. I was dating a girl from school at the time, and one night when my parents went out to dinner, I invited her over to watch a movie in the basement. I grabbed a beer, even though I was underage, and we started watching Gladiator. Halfway through the movie, around midnight, I felt a wave of panic, like something was wrong. My heart raced, and I couldn't stop glancing at the windows facing the dark forest. Not wanting to scare my girlfriend, I kept it to myself. After the movie, I walked her to her car, turned off the basement lights, and as I passed the home theater window, I saw a man. He looked like a vagrant, with messy hair, dirty clothes, and a disturbing smile. He was holding a knife and tapping lightly on the glass, staring at me with wide eyes. I froze, thinking it was a hallucination. I turned off the pool room lights, which also had a sliding door to the backyard, and saw the same man, now outside the door, still smiling, just inches away, separated only by the glass. I ran upstairs. My parents got home soon after, and I told them everything, thinking I was losing it. My dad grabbed a rifle from the gun safe and searched the property, while my mom told me there were reports of break-ins in the area with a man wandering the woods. The police came, but found nothing. That night, I heard soft taps on the basement window below my room. This went on for weeks, sometimes with sounds like footsteps on the roof. I never saw anyone, but the feeling of being watched never left. In the winter, my parents went away for a few days, leaving me with a shotgun and our Rottweiler, a protective but quiet dog who only barked when something was truly wrong. One night I heard footsteps in the snow, slow and deliberate. The dog started growling and barking furiously. Then came a knock on the door, slow and taunting. I didn't answer and slept with the shotgun by my side. The next morning, I found fresh human footprints around the house, stopping at every window. I followed them into the woods for half a kilometer until they started zigzagging, like they were trying to throw me off. I turned back, feeling it was too dangerous to keep going. That night, the knocks returned, louder. I grabbed the shotgun, went out to the second-floor balcony, and turned on the backyard lights. There he was, the same man, with the same smile and knife in hand, staring at me. I yelled that I'd shoot if he didn't leave. He didn't move. I fired a warning shot into the air, and he slowly backed into the woods, still watching me. I let the dog loose, and he chased after him, barking fiercely. My dog never came back, and I never saw that man again. What do you think of these stories so far? Feeling a chill, a shiver down your spine? Or maybe you're glancing at the shadows in the corner of your room, wondering what might be lurking there. These stories are just the beginning. We've got more tales that will make you question every creak, every whisper in the dark. Don't go anywhere, because the next case will keep you glued to the screen, heart racing, suspicious of even the silence in your own home. Hit like, subscribe, and drop the word intruder in the comments to let me know you watched this far. We want to know what stuck with you. Now back to the stories. During spring break in my sophomore year of college, my 5 friends and I rented a cabin in the countryside to get away from it all. There were 4 guys, me, Lucas, Pedro and Gabrielle, and 2 girls, Anna and Sarah. The cabin was cheap, with 2 floors, a balcony, 2 bathrooms, and it sat on private land near a lake surrounded by forest. The owner, with a thick accent, warned us not to venture too far into the woods because of old wells, broken fences, and snakes. We laughed, thinking it was just a spooky touch. The cabin looked older and dirtier than in the photos, with dusty windows and a faint smell of trash and damp wood. Still, we settled in and started having fun. The first night we had a barbecue, blasted music and played cards. Around 11 p.m. it got cold and we went inside. I noticed how dark the forest was, a thick, silent darkness with no sound of insects or wind. I went to sleep in a ground floor room next to the kitchen with a window facing the woods. At 4:15 a.m., when I woke up for no reason, heart pounding. Then I heard it. Tap, tap, tap. It sounded like fingers on the glass. I looked out the window and saw a man, shirtless, with messy hair and pale skin, pressed against the glass, staring at me with his mouth slightly open. I called Lucas, who was sleeping on the couch. He saw the man too, but when we turned on the porch light, the guy was gone. We locked the doors, moved the couch in front of the living room window, and kept watch. The next morning, we found barefoot prints circling the cabin, stopping at every window, even the small upstairs bathroom window. We should have left, but we stayed. The second night, we were on edge. Sarah didn't drink, and Pedro kept a hunting knife on his belt. At 3:30 a.m., Lucas went to get water in the kitchen and called me. The same man was there, now inside the house, naked, with scratches on his back, swaying in front of the fridge. We turned on the light, and he vanished. The back door was open, with no signs of a break-in. We left 20 minutes later, grabbed the essentials, and drove until we got a signal to call the sheriff. At the diner where we met the deputy, he didn't seem surprised, saying there were vagrants in the area, but gave no details. The cabin vanished from rental sites days later, and we never got answers or our deposit back. To this day, that face at the window wakes me up in the middle of the night. What if the next story isn't just a story, but something waiting for you around the next dark corner, in the next silence of your house? These tales don't end here. We have more stories that will make your heart race, keep you looking over your shoulder, and question every shadow in your room. Don't miss the next video, because fear never warns you when it's coming. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss any of these stories that will keep you up at night. See you in the next nightmare!